The psychological walls are completely down, and the countdown to absolute unsanitized carnage in Fromville has officially begun. Following the grueling mid-season bottleneck, MGM Plus is steering the narrative straight into a total state of structural panic with Season 4, Episode 7, titled The Best Laid Plans, airing this Sunday, June 7th, 2026. Boyd Stevens' brute force decision to weaponize a sledgehammer and smash through the Colony House basement line hasn't just increased the threat index, it has effectively built an open, high-volume biological conduit straight into the limestone lair of the nocturnal monsters. Today, we're executing a ground-level, scene-by-scene analysis of the premiere theories for Episode 7, parsing out Donna's traumatic flatline transition, unmasking the legal mutiny threatening Boyd's badge, and tracking the terrifying biological autonomy of Henry's blood contamination. Trapped in Eternity, Donna's Awakening and Purgatory Tracking. Your analysis regarding the narrative purpose behind Donna's Elizabeth Saunders' sudden, near-fatal cardiac arrest is a beautiful piece of storytelling tracking. The script went out of its way to establish her immense value as the maternal anchor of the settlement, explicitly pairing her flatline with Ethan's psychological vulnerability and Boyd's frantic, desperate decree, "You'll die when I say you die." The flatline consciousness loop. The eternal prison. Donna wakes up inside the dimension's screaming hive mind of trapped souls. Bringing her back from a zero-pulse clinical flatline means Donna is returning to the active matrix with highly volatile, unsanitized data from the other side. If Marielle's terrifying theory holds true, that the pocket dimension physically traps, archives, and eternally tortures the souls of every small-folk resident who passes away, Donna didn't just experience standard darkness. She likely spent those oxygen-deprived minutes directly immersed in the screaming collective consciousness of the town's historical victims. This exposure is heavily tracking to completely alter her character design in Episode 7. Look for a hyper-defensive, deeply traumatized Donna who pushes back aggressively against Boyd's reckless military campaigns. She will now understand that dying in Fromville doesn't yield a peaceful release. It locks you into a permanent metaphysical nightmare. Alternatively, if her flatline caused her to briefly wake up inside a cold, clinical overworld before being violently dragged back into the simulation, it will solidify the looming fan theory that Fromville is a literal digital or spiritual purgatory. Disclosing that reality to the Colony House smallfolk will instantly blow the remaining social stability of the town straight to pieces. The final nail: the imminent mutiny against Boyd Stevens. Boyd Stevens is currently sliding down a dangerous one-way tracking line toward an absolute political liquidation. For 4 seasons, the sheriff has maintained his institutional grip because he represented an absolute shield against external terrors. However, the Episode 7 layout strips away his armor on 2 distinct fronts. The Boyd Stevens institutional liquidation. Basement wall demolished, direct monster passageway opened, Elgin exposes S3 torture and mutilation. First, the physical uproar over his basement demolition will be historic. By intentionally clearing a structural path straight into the monster caves to hunt for the children's sacrificial bones, Boyd has effectively invited the enemy inside the perimeter. Second, and far more damaging, is the ticking clock surrounding Elgin's missing eye. The trailer's high-alert confrontation between Julie Matthews and a mutilated Elgin proves that the unsanitized truth behind the Season 3 finale interrogation is rising to the surface. The second Elgin discloses to the diner crowd that the sheriff manually kidnapped, bound, and permitted Sarah to violently carve out his eyeball with a hunting knife, the illusion of Boyd's moral authority is dead. The residents turned to him for protection from monsters, not to realize that their own leader has devolved into an unstable rogue tyrant who believes he is entirely above the law. combined with the visual reveal that Sophia, the man in yellow, is standing directly inside the council room auditing Boyd's cave recruitment strategy in plain sight, the monsters won't even need to execute a traditional raid. They will simply let Boyd march his small vanguard into the caves, slide right past them through the open basement breach, and orchestrate a total inside-out massacre at Colony House. From Season 4, Episode 7, Strategic Matrix. Character asset, actor, current biological status, core threat/trajectory, Boyd Stevens, Harold Perrineau, fracturing, running out of tactical runway, facing an internal political mutiny and a high-volume cave trap. Donna, Elizabeth Saunders, convalescing after brute force resuscitation, traumatized by the cosmic screams of the town's dead. Henry, unannounced, orally consumed the entity's blood, experiencing reality-warping auditory and physical degradation. Sophia, Kaelen Ohm, deep cover shape-shifting entity, auditing the human defensive strategy in plain sight. Physical degradation, Henry's autonomous metamorphosis. Your tracking of the historical patterns governing who the man in yellow selects as his vessels is exceptionally sharp. From Sarah and Marielle to Fatima and Elgin, the entity consistently target broken, emotionally compromised assets who carry immense psychological trauma, making the grieving, broken-hearted Henry the ultimate easy prey. The autonomous blood contract. Henry drinks spiked alcohol, rhythmic hospital beep auditory hallucination, complete physical core decay. The introduction of the shapeshifter's literal blood into Henry's system unlocks a terrifying new tier of autonomous control that goes far beyond standard telepathic whispers. The trailer's inclusion of a rhythmic, piercing medical heart rate monitor beep clicking louder and louder inside Henry's cranium points to an aggressive, reality-warping simulation trap. Sophia is systematically manipulating Henry's perception to make him believe his entire time in Fromville was merely a comatose dream following the car crash that claimed Miranda, hallucinating that he is slowly waking up inside a bright, clean hospital wing. This biological poison is tracked to rapidly degrade Henry's physical form from the inside out, inducing erratic, manic behaviors that will make the town line view him completely insane. The ultimate dark endgame of this mind control contract is to force Henry to fulfill a gruesome historical repeat of the town's ancient cycle, walking straight off the roof of Colony House under the absolute delusion that hitting the concrete below is the only mechanical way to break the fever and wake up in the real world. With only 4 chapters on the board, the baseline safeguards are completely gone, the trap is fully set, and the best-laid plans unfold this Sunday.